Hello, everybody, and welcome to our first session of Let's Talk Teaching for 2025. Welcome. My name is Dr. Philippa Fabry, and we are Education Services. And I'm going to introduce my colleagues who are going to be joining me this evening as we talk a little bit about mindset and motivation. So I'm going to bring on Rianda van Niekerk, Leandri Becker, and it's me, Philippa Fabry, and we are the Education Services team. Hi, guys. How are you doing?
Hi.
We are doing well.
Welcome. Good. Well, we're melting, but other than that,
Yes,
we all good.
I'm so happy to have hotter weather. I'm not someone for the cold, and it seems like PE has always got some other wind or rain or cold weather for me in store. So I am
Today,
welcome this weather a little bit.
summer has arrived for sure. So guys, we thought we would really sort of I suppose kick off the year talking about mindset and motivation because as teachers we always start off very enthusiastically. We have lots of energy and we kind of you know we get pulled into the year, and then before long we are saying to ourselves, gosh, it feels like it's already November and we're only halfway through February and things are difficult and we're struggling. And so I'm going to start off with, we're going to have two sort of parts to this evening. Those of you that are watching, and welcome to all of you, and thank you for joining us. We had a fantastic registration for this one, which tells me that it's obviously something that we all want to know a little bit more about. So before we kick off with mindset particularly, and then Rianda will be talking about motivation, I want to do a little mindset exercise. So it requires a little bit of visualization and imagination, but I want you to start with me. We're going to go on a little journey. I want you to imagine that you are walking next to a river, and the river is flowing next to you, and it's moving quite quickly. You're walking along. It's a hot day. You've been walking for a while, and you look at the water, and it looks really nice and cool and inviting. And so you consider now, should I pop into the river and get nice and cool, and have a bit of fun in the water? And so you jump in, and immediately the current pulls you and starts kind of pulling you along, and you realize, gosh, you need to start treading water and moving your arms because otherwise you're going to sink underneath the water. And so you start moving, and the water is pulling you, and you look around and you see other people also in the river, and they are flailing around. Some are being pulled under and can't keep their heads up. And then you look at others are sort of having a wonderful time. They've brought along their floating chairs and they're having an absolute ball. As the water is pulling them along, they're sitting on their lalos and they're laughing and giggling and having a wonderful time. And then all of a sudden you start getting bumped and you're getting knocked into rocks and you're getting scratched by branches that are, also floating past you, and you start getting cold, and things are not as pleasant as when you started in the river. And you kind of thinking, okay, I'm struggling here. The water's making me cold. I'm getting hurt. I'm getting pulled under. I'm starting to lose energy. And you see a rock ahead of you, and you decide to hang on to this rock to kind of, as you approach the rock, you're going to hang on to the rock and you're kind of just going to assess things and decide what you're going to do. And I think that's where mindset comes into play. Because when you start a new term, like I said, you've had a lovely holiday. So you're walking along, the term hasn't started yet. And like the river flowing along, you're walking along, and the minute you get into that river, you get pulled, and it's almost as if the year doesn't start slowly. It's from after that first day back, you're getting pulled along by the current of that term. And again, whether you have prepared for the term, for example, if you were going into that river again and you plan better, you think, do I need a wetsuit? How long is this river? How wide is this river? How deep is this river? Do I need a lilo or a floating chair to bring along with me, right? How long am I going to need to go along treading water? It's planning, and it's making sure that you are well prepared for this journey along the river. to make sure that you don't get, number one, influenced by people not having such a good time, or whether you are being pulled, sucked down by other people who are hanging on to you for dear life because they are sinking and they're hanging on to you and making it difficult for you. So as we're going to talk about mindset, there are things that are beyond your control. Some things are within your control and other things are outside of your control. And I don't know if you have heard of Mel Robbins. She's got a mindset tool called the Let Them Theory. If you haven't heard of Mel Robbins, maybe look her up and look at the Let Them Theory. They talk about mindset and how your mindset shapes how you deal with anything and everyone that you come across. Because you will get people who possibly drag you down, you'll get people who have a more, I suppose, pessimistic outlook. Maybe you're an optimist and other people are more negative, and they might influence your attitude towards things. So I'm going to hand over to Leandri now. So we're talking about mindset. So Leandri, tell us a little bit about mindset.
So I think to start with, it's very important to always remember, as educators, we have the power to shape young minds and inspire students. So you don't want to be that person from the beginning that's going to drag someone down or going to be negative from the get-go. We want students to reach their full potential. So in order for you to do that, you need to look at your own mindset. So it starts with you as the educator. If you are going to go into your class and you're going to be negative from the start, then your children will be negative and you're going to start the year negative. But if you can be the optimistic person, the positive person, the one that sees the positive in the lights and everything, that sees potential and that speaks that into your class, that is going to set your year on a positive note, and your children will bounce off of that. So you may have heard of the concept of a fixed mindset or a growth mindset.
Yes.
So a fixed mindset is something that we don't want. Those are the people who see that change can't be possible. So our abilities can't change. While your growth mindset is where we want to be present, and we want to see the change and we want to develop with it, and we want your abilities to change. And that is all due to effort and learning. So your growth mindset is something that we want in your personal life, in your work environment, but especially you as an educator, we want to establish growth mindset in order for you to help those children in your class who's also stuck and maybe also in a negative environment. Remember, we don't know a child's situation. So if they come to school and they've got a negative home environment, or they struggle with learning, or school hasn't been a very pleasant journey for them thus far, we want you as an educator to be able to establish a growth mindset within them as well. But for that, you as an educator also need to have a growth mindset.
Yeah, you set the example, hey?
Yes.
The tone in the classroom is you. You set the tone.
Yes, exactly. So one of the things I was just thinking of it the other day during the week, I heard a teacher saying, "I hate teaching a grade. I can't remember, grade 6 or grade 7, whatever." And she, and people asked her, "Why do you hate teaching? Why are you in this profession if you hate it?" And she just went on about the admin and the workload and everything that goes with it. And then what made me cringe was that she told the people that she told the grade 7s or whatever grade it was on their first day, "I hate
teaching."
What does that say to a student coming into your class? They might be positive, well rested after the holidays, and now they're coming to your class. You need to teach them. You are not creating a very positive learning environment for them. So that's a struggle. They're not going to be positive if you are not positive. So it is so very important for a teacher to change your mindset if your mindset is exactly that, because you don't want a child to be dragged down due to what you are feeling or what you are going through. So you always want to release positive energy. I know it's very easy for me to sit here and say that because I'm not in the situation. I know the teaching can become difficult, and you are going to face challenges, obviously, during the year. Challenges that you faced last year might not be resolved yet, but finding a positive light and finding something positive that you can focus on during your class or during
And
teaching.
find positive people.
Find positive people to surround yourself. Write yourself sticky notes, stick it somewhere that's positive. Create a support group. But you have to overcome a negative mindset by seeing opportunities in everything that you do. The moment you start seeing the positive and changing your mindset, everything else will be impacted by that. So I'm go on and on and on about this. But if you want to know more, a little bit about mindset and how to change your mindset, or how to help a child, a colleague, or mindset, you can our one of our webinars.
Yeah.
The Teacher Superpower webinar, right, Philippa?
Yes.
Then we go into mindset and how to change your mindset and what can you do as an educator to be positive and to start your year positive and to end on a positive note. Because if you're going to start with a negative mindset or a fixed mindset, then by the end of December, you are going to be close to burnout, if not by the middle of the year. So we don't want to be there. So please sign up for our Superpower workshop. Then we can go into detail. Yes.
And we have a special gift. We have a free gift for those of you who have stayed on this webinar right to the end. So I just wanted to say that as we are now in the middle, Leandri, if you need to go, you can pop off. I know you've got responsibilities there. But we're going to talk to, I often get asked, and I'm sure Rianda does as well, how as a teacher, we often say, how do we motivate the learners in our class? You know, how do we, the child who is the least engaged, how do I reach that particular child? So let's talk motivation.
It's very important, like Leandri said, it starts with you. You have to look at yourself. You have to motivate yourself. Now, when you step into your classroom, remember that it's not that child's fault that he comes to school upset or something like that. You have to be able to see past that, put that aside. And sometimes you just have to leave everything and listen and stop and listen. Listen to that child. Give him the 5 minutes of your time because it will clear up the next 10 minutes for you to be able to teach him. Rather than starting to shout at him, remember, if you shout, the only thing a child learns when a teacher shouts is how far can I push this teacher?
Level.
When is she going to shout? What is the level? And she shouts, I'm going to shout because she must hear me. Unfortunately, that's the only lesson they learn. That's all. They learn how far they can push you, and that's that. So, and I mean, with all of our teaching experience and things that I find is, if you show up prepared, if you show up, you've done your lessons, you're prepared, you know how your week is going to go, you've done your homework, you get your stuff together, then that shines out of you. That's a confidence that it cannot be bought. You know what you're going to do. Then when life happens and things happen and kids break down in your class, there's hysterical, unfortunate things happen, then those things are still fine. You've got your plan. It's all right. The unexpected things you can then handle. But if everything is out of control, then everything is out of control. And then there's nothing going on, and then hysterical the whole time in your class. And then you create more problems because you're behind in your work as well. So, yeah. But what I find with kids as well is there's a reason why you are in that class. Sometimes you have to look very hard for that reason. And sometimes you are there for the one that you will never think of. You were not there for the cute little one there. Sometimes you're there for them. But sometimes you are there for that difficult child because that one, you are giving him love. And that's what he's getting today is that love and that understanding and that 5 minutes of listening to that child in that day. And that's it. And I think it's
motivation enough, Rianda, is that kids know that they are loved.
Yes, and that's the thing. That's the thing. Yeah, people won't remember what you dressed like and what earrings you wore and all of that. They will remember. The kids will remember how you make them feel. How if a kid feels safe, they will
Mm.
open them up and you can teach them.
Mm.
But you have
If
to
they
make
connect,
them
if
feel
they feel
safe.
connected to you.
They
Yeah.
feel connected. They want
Yeah.
to come. They want to come to school this morning because they want
Yeah.
to learn. They want to see you. And then you
Yeah.
have an opening to teach them. I think it's important to celebrate the small things. Sometimes we just look at the big things. Oh, this kid can't read yet, and oh goodness! But he opened his book on the right page. He didn't switch his book around. He knows where's left. He knows where's right. The small
Yes.
steps, the small parts become
Yes.
into the big things.
Small
So
wins. Yes.
small wins. Celebrate the small wins because they build up to become a big one. It's like building
Yes.
your puzzle. So, and
Yes.
we sometimes get too much in a hurry to build our puzzle, to finish our puzzle, but it sometimes need a little bit of geduld, a little bit of
Patience and love.
patience and love. And I know it's difficult. I mean, and I'm going to say this, and some teachers, it's difficult, but you have to try to leave your personal life outside the door. It's you can't bring that into the class. You have to try. It's difficult. We all have lives. We all have houses and children and whatever your life is and all of that. But you have to try. The more you can leave it outside, spend the time, be present in the moment.
Don't bring your own drama. There's
Don't
enough drama in the classroom. Don't bring
there's enough drama in the class. You need to be the calm. You need to be the calmness, not the drama. And I think
that is such good advice.
I think the last thing is that ask for help. If you get stuck, if there's a child with a problem or you can't figure it out, ask for help because it's not about you. You are a hero if you ask for help. If you don't ask, it's about your ego and it's about you wanting to be you, me, myself, and I. But if you ask, it's about that child. It's about realizing I must help. I must find help. I don't know what this is. Let me find out. How can we help? And then it becomes we and not I. So so I think I can talk about this some more, but I think that sums it up. And I think it's important that we try, and like Leandro said, and you said, we try and find something that, how to, think of something that we love to do. We all are teaching because we love it. We love spending time with the kids and how to make a difference. And go back to that. We chose this for a reason.
Your why.
Why
Simon
am I doing this? Why are you? Yes. Go back to why am I doing this? Why am I here? Because if it's not for you, you're not a tree. Move. You haven't been planted. Find something else then. So I know it's not that easy, but sometimes it needs to be that easy for you.
And I also think you need to be, to give the best of yourself. You need to be in a place where you can do that.
You need to be able to give something.
Yes.
And
then I
it's
think
difficult.
and I also think there are some teachers who end up in the wrong, sometimes in the wrong schools. But as you say, you can move. You don't have to stay somewhere where you don't feel happy, you don't feel appreciated, you don't feel accepted. And part of what Education Services does, and a lot of teachers send us CVs, and a lot of teachers are looking for positions, and I always say to them, try and find the school that you can see yourself in. If you can see yourself being in that school, go drive past the school, try and ask people who are in that school, but don't put yourself in a position where you're not going to feel comfortable. Don't do that, because it's not going to bring the best out of you.
Yeah, you're not going to have that confidence. If I belong here, I must do this. You're not going to have that. And something like that shines out of you. It comes out. You know what you're going to do. You know why you're there. So I think that's important.
So next week or next month, obviously we're wanting to do these every month. So at the last Wednesday of every month will be Let's Talk Teaching. And I think, Rianda, you and I were talking about barriers to learning, and possibly doing next month a barriers to learning, but let's base it on the SAIS document, because SAIS is that document that a lot of teachers have maybe heard of, but they don't really fully grasp the different barriers of learning that are included in that. And so next month, we're going to be doing a little bit of an overview on barriers to learning, and you'll see within your school which ones are kind of more apparent than others. So, yeah, make sure you follow our education services page, our group. You know, diarize it now for the end of February. The last Wednesday of February will be the next one. And like I said, if you have registered for this, even if you weren't able to attend live, you've registered, you've put your name down, you will get an email from me tomorrow with your free gift. It's a beautiful calendar that you can use for the year that we've created, and we hope that you'll be able to use that to help you stay on top of your things and not get overwhelmed with all the different meetings and workshops and planning things for the term. And then lastly, I'm going to do the lucky draw before we say goodnight. So all the names, and I hope the person who wins tonight is online, because
nice, yes. Excitement.
So I've got all the names in here in my special little bucket, and I'm going to pull out one. I'm not looking. I'm going to pull one out. And what we were going to do, if your name gets pulled, your school will be featured next month. And that really means that we are there to serve your school however you need, wherever you need help. So if your name is pulled, you go and you chat to your school head or your school leadership, and you say, what do we need from education services? And if you don't know what we do, go onto our website and have a look. But go and have a think. What are the challenges that your school is facing? Where can education services play a role? Do you want us to promote your school on Facebook? Do you want us to come and do a school visit? Do you want us to do a workshop for your parents? Do you want your teachers to have a mentor? Do you need school readiness assessments done? What are you needing us to help you with? So the winner tonight is, and I hope she is watching. Can you see the name? Deline Bester. Deline Bester. All right.
Deline,
so
let us know which school you are.
If you are online, please pop in the comments.
Yes.
What school you are from, but I will be emailing you anyway tomorrow. So Deline Bester, your school features next month. Education services will be contacting you, and we'll see how we can help. So every month there will be a school that will be featured for the rest of the year, and we're hoping that education services can help and support however you need help. We are here to serve, which is why we are called education services. So any last words before we say goodnight, Rianda?
No, I think we've said it all, and I think it's important to create a community. It's like what we are doing. Create the people, join the people around you, help someone to help themselves, and help yourself by helping someone. It feels good to help
find your
someone.
tribe.
Find your tribe and create that community.
And all the best, all the best for the rest of January. We'll see you at the end of February then for our learning barriers. We're looking at the science document and just sort of doing a little overview on learning barriers from that document. So join us at the end of February. And thanks for joining us tonight. And Rianda, thank you for sharing the platform with me, and for Leandri, who had to go off and look after babies and things. We'll catch you again next time at the end of February. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks for watching.